Hello, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. May the Lord be kind to us. John KLYUKER is with you. I also welcome you to the live community, and I bring to your attention that I created such a knife. In oriental motifs, delicate. The name was born later, after my wife Margarita looked at the knife. But then I'll tell you this story. Here are the characteristics of the knife. The length of the blade is 14 centimeters, 9 millimeters. The thickness of the blade is 2 and 7 millimeters. It's right here in this place. It's thicker here, then everything goes to a narrowing, to a wedge. The tip is up, that is, the blade is bent up. Well, as if this is an oriental motif, and the tip itself is very delicate, that is, well, straight, sharp. I've already pricked myself with this tip once or twice. He's right here with him. You really need to be careful with this knife. The tip is very prickly. So further. The blade material is chrome 12F1 forged steel. Bolster and back plate made of brass. Micarde handle thickness 16 millimeters. Handle length 10 centimeters 6 millimeters. 4 questions. Well, on the knife, on the question, well, something there will interest the knife. Right here is the mail hook dog gmail.com next. How? Well, in general, how boosters are executed. This is, well, in general, how to say it, a ring-shaped one. Dressed like a shackle or like. I do not know how to call it correctly. Well, it can be seen from the execution, how it is done. Taped up. First of all, it is very tightly planted. Micarde, you see right here. Well, it can be seen that here the handle is made of 2 halves of a microcard. And here also here. It is planted tightly on the glue. The micarde is sealed. The shank itself comes in. Now I'll show you on a magnet. A magnet. Now, to make it clear here. Well, that's where you see where it turns. That's how the shank ends here. And I'm telling you this so that you understand that the shank is coming in. Well, in the handle, well, I'll say about 75% now, so in my opinion. I sharpened 3000 on a water stone, then brought it on a belt with paste. Razor sharpening. There, if you want, make your own kind of sharpening more aggressive. The blade was bought a very long time ago. I don't know, they're 7 years ago, if not 8. This is the blade of the Biryukov brothers. It seems that I ordered it on the internet. I changed the blade into the geometry of the blade, because this handle, yes, look, it's like this. Well, it turned out to be so shapely, so anatomical, so to speak. For my handle. The handle is not enough for my hand. That is, well, I have it, as if I'm holding it. Everything is fine. Well, it's not enough in length. That is, well, keep in mind, if you have well smaller than my hand, then you will be super straight. So, what I wanted to say there. And And the blade was of a completely different geometry, and from this geometry, it did not look like a handle. And so I decided to make this oriental motif like this. Well, just a combination of this handle. Here is this handle, it is combined with this geometry of the blade. Here. Then I showed my wife, and she was like, well, here again you have this tip so thin, delicate. It's just that she's used to my knives being so thick. And she says, and I kind of didn't know yet how to call it the final name of this knife, that it's like he's like a ballerina. I say, well, let's call it just a normal name, ballerina. And he's black. The ballerina is white, but she has a white robe. And then we remembered Siskaridze. He used to be. Well, now he teaches, I know, but before he was a ballerina. But Nikolai Siskaridze is a very well-known person. So that's how the name was born. Well, I think the name is right for this Siskaridze knife. Here is such a knife.